You are looking in the mirror and you don't recognize the person staring back at you. It's not just the wrinkles or the gray hair, it's the shape of your body. Specifically, that stubborn layer of fat around your midsection that wasn't there 3 years ago. You haven't changed your diet, you haven't stopped moving. In fact, you might be eating less and exercising more than you did in your 30s, yet your scale keeps creeping up. You feel like your body is broken. You feel like your metabolism is completely shut down. And when you go to the doctor, what do they tell you? They say, it's just part of aging, or you need to count your calories better. I am here to tell you right now, that is a lie. Your metabolism isn't broken, and it's certainly not shut down in the way you think. It is simply shifted gears, and you are trying to drive a manual car like it's an automatic. If you keep treating your menopausal body the same way you treated your 20-year-old body, you aren't just going to fail at losing weight, you're going to accelerate the aging process, damage your organs, and lock that fat onto your belly permanently. In this video, we are going to expose the real reason why traditional weight loss advice fails during menopause. I'm going to reveal the 5 definitive signs that your metabolic hormones have hit a wall. And, more importantly, exactly what you need to do to turn the engine back on. This isn't about starving yourself, it's about understanding the new rules of your biology. Before we get into the signs, we have to clear out the garbage advice that is currently sabotaging your health. The biggest myth, the one that is likely making you sick and fat right now, is the idea of calories in, calories out. Society, magazines, and even well-meaning doctors have drilled this into your head. If you want to lose weight, you just need a calorie deficit. So what do? You hit menopause, the weight starts coming on, and you panic. You cut your calories to 1,200 a day, you start running on the treadmill for an hour, you skip dinner. And what happens? You might lose 2 pounds the first week, but then you stall. You feel exhausted, irritable, and hungry, and then the weight comes back with a vengeance. Why? Because the female body during menopause is not a calculator, it is a chemistry lab. When you drastically cut calories while your hormones are already fluctuating, you are sending a signal to your body. That signal is starvation. In response, your thyroid slows down to conserve energy. Your cortisol, the stress hormone, shoots through the roof. And guess what cortisol does? It specifically instructs your body to store fat in the abdominal area to protect your organs during this perceived famine. By strictly following the eat less, move more advice, you are actually training your body to hold on to fat. You are fighting a war against your own biology, and biology always wins. The problem isn't that you're eating too much food. The problem is that you're eating the wrong information. Food is information for your hormones. Another dangerous myth is that exercise is the key to weight loss. Listen to me carefully. You cannot run away from a hormonal imbalance. I see women in their 50s doing high-intensity cardio boot camps, stressing their bodies out, thinking they can burn off the menopause belly. All this does is spike cortisol further. If your metabolism is shut down due to hormonal resistance, adding physical stress is like pouring gasoline on a fire. We need to stop focusing on burning calories and start focusing on healing the metabolic machinery. So if it's not calories, what is it? To fix the problem, we have to understand the mechanism. Why does it feel like your metabolism has shut down? It comes down to 3 major players: estrogen, insulin, and cortisol. These 3 hormones are in a delicate dance, and menopause changes the music. First, let's talk about estrogen. We typically think of estrogen as just a reproductive hormone, but it is a metabolic powerhouse. Estrogen helps sensitize your cells to insulin. It helps keep your blood sugar stable and prevents visceral fat accumulation. When you go through perimenopause and menopause, your ovaries stop producing estrogen. Your levels drop precipitously. When estrogen drops, you naturally become more insulin resistant. This is the key. Insulin resistance means your cells stop listening to the signal to let fuel in. Instead of burning the food you eat for energy, your body has no choice but to store it as fat. This is why you can eat the same apple you ate 10 years ago, but now it results in fat storage instead of energy production. But here is the twist that most people miss. Your ovaries retire, but your body still needs a tiny bit of estrogen. Where does it get it? The adrenal glands take over some of the work. Your adrenal glands are responsible for stress management and producing cortisol. Now imagine the scenario. You're in menopause, your ovaries are shut down, your adrenal glands are supposed to be the backup generator for sex hormones, but if you are stressed because of life, because of lack of sleep, or because you're starving yourself to lose weight, your adrenal glands are too busy pumping out cortisol to produce the beneficial hormones you need. This leads to a condition often called adrenal fatigue, or HPA axis dysfunction. When cortisol is chronically high, it raises your blood sugar. When blood sugar is high, insulin rises. And remember, insulin is the fat storage hormone. You cannot burn fat in the presence of high insulin. It is physiologically impossible. So the shutdown you're feeling is actually a protective mode. Your body senses the drop in estrogen as a stressor. It senses your lifestyle stress. It senses your dietary stress from processed foods or high sugar. It decides that the safest thing to do is to slow down energy expenditure, metabolism, and hoard energy, fat, right around your midsection, where the liver is, to ensure survival. This isn't a defect, it's a survival mechanism. But in our modern world, it's a mechanism that is making us sick. We need to convince your body that it is safe to burn energy again. We do that by lowering insulin and lowering cortisol, not by lowering calories. Now that you understand the engine is flooded with insulin and cortisol, let's look at the dashboard. How do you know if this is happening to you? Here are the 5 definitive signs. Sign number 1, the menopause apron, visceral fat accumulation. This is the most frustrating sign. You might notice that your arms and legs are relatively unchanged or even getting thinner due to muscle loss, but your belly is growing. This isn't just subcutaneous fat, the squishy kind you can pinch. This is hard, protruding belly fat. This is visceral fat. Why is this sign number 1 of a metabolic shutdown? Because visceral fat is not just storage, it is an active endocrine organ. It releases inflammatory cytokines. But specifically, this type of fat accumulation is the hallmark of insulin resistance combined with high cortisol. As we discussed, when estrogen leaves the building, fat redistribution occurs. If your metabolism was working correctly, you would be able to burn this off. But if you have this specific belly protrusion, it means your liver is likely fatty and your cells are locking the doors to energy. You are storing energy in the most dangerous place possible, around your internal organs. If you have this apron, no amount of crunches will fix it. You have to fix the insulin. Sign number 2, the 3 a.m. wake-up call. How many of you fall asleep okay, but then, like clockwork, you are wide awake at 2 or 3 a.m.? You stare at the ceiling, your mind racing, or perhaps you just feel a weird internal buzzing or heat. You might think this is just a hot flash or part of getting old. It is not. It is a sign that your blood sugar management is broken. Here's what's happening. During the night, your brain needs a steady supply of glucose, fuel. If you are insulin resistant, your cells can't access the stored fuel properly. Your blood sugar drops too low in the middle of the night, hypoglycemia. Your brain senses a threat, it thinks you're dying of starvation, so it sends an emergency signal to your adrenal glands. Release cortisol, release adrenaline, we need sugar now. Your body dumps stored sugar into your bloodstream to save you, but that surge of adrenaline wakes you up. You're alert, anxious, and you cannot go back to sleep. This sleep disruption further destroys your metabolism the next day, creating a vicious cycle. If you're waking up at 3 a.m. regularly, your metabolism is struggling to regulate energy 24/7. Sign number 3. Uncontrollable cravings for salt or sugar after meals. You just finished a full dinner. Your stomach is physically full, yet you find yourself rummaging through the pantry looking for something sweet or something salty. You blame your lack of willpower. You think you're just weak. Stop blaming yourself. This is a biochemical signal. If you crave sugar immediately after eating, it is a sign that even though you put food in your stomach, it didn't get into your cells. Your insulin was high, but the cells resisted it. So your cells are literally starving in the midst of plenty. They are screaming to your brain, "We need energy. Get the quick stuff." That is the sugar craving. It's a sign your fuel partitioning is shut down. If you crave salt, this often points to the adrenal glands. Remember, the adrenals are taking over for the ovaries. If they're exhausted, they struggle to regulate minerals, aldosterone. Salt cravings can be a sign that your stress response system is burnt out, dragging your metabolism down with it. Sign number 4, brain fog and senior moments. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. You struggle to find words. You feel like you're moving through molasses mentally. We joke about menopause brain, but this is actually a metabolic issue in the brain. Scientists are now calling Alzheimer's and dementia type 3 diabetes. Why? Because the brain is an energy hog. It uses 20% of your metabolic energy. If your body is insulin resistant, your brain is insulin resistant. Your brain cells cannot absorb glucose efficiently. When your brain cells don't get enough fuel, they slow down. Neurons don't fire as quickly. The shutdown of your metabolism is happening above your neck too. This brain fog is a direct indicator that your body is not switching fuel sources efficiently. In a healthy metabolism, if glucose isn't available, the body should burn fat, ketones, for brain fuel. If you have brain fog, it means you're stuck in the middle, unable to burn sugar well and unable to access fat stores. You're on empty. Sign number 5, joint pain and stiffness, the old lady feeling. You get out of bed and your ankles are stiff, your knees ache, you feel inflamed. You assume this is arthritis or just wear and tear. While wear and tear is real, systemic inflammation is a metabolic sign. High insulin is pro-inflammatory. High blood sugar is pro-inflammatory. When you eat foods that spike your insulin, like refined grains, sugars, and even excessive fruits that we are told are healthy, you create a state of chronic inflammation. Fluid retention is also linked here. Insulin causes the kidneys to retain sodium and water. That stiffness in your fingers, that puffiness in your face, that is often water retention driven by hyperinsulinemia, too much insulin. Your metabolism isn't clearing waste and managing fluids correctly because it's overwhelmed by the hormonal signals of the food you're eating. So the solution: how to restart the engine. So you have these signs. Is it hopeless? Absolutely not. But the solution requires doing the opposite of what you've been told. Stop grazing. Every time you eat, you spike insulin. If you eat 6 small meals a day to stoke your metabolism, you're actually keeping insulin high all day long. You need to switch to intermittent fasting. Give your body a break. Start with 16 hours of fasting and an 8-hour eating window. This allows insulin to drop low enough for your body to finally access that visceral fat. Prioritize protein and healthy fats. Stop fearing fat. You need cholesterol and healthy fats to make hormones. Your sex hormones are made from cholesterol. If you cut fat, you starve your hormone production. Focus on eggs, avocados, fatty fish, and grass-fed meats. Cut the hidden sugars. And I don't just mean candy. I mean the bread, the pasta, the heart-healthy oatmeal, and the excessive sweet fruits. These are turning to sugar in your blood and fueling the insulin resistance. Manage cortisol. This is non-negotiable. Sleep is now your most important exercise. Walking in nature is better for you than a stressful spin class. You need to signal safety to your body. Menopause is not a disease. It is a transition, but it is a transition that exposes the metabolic cracks in our foundation. If you have the belly fat, the 3 a.m. wake-ups, the brain fog, your body is waving a red flag. It is telling you that the old way of living, the high carbs, the chronic stress, the constant snacking, is no longer compatible with your new biology. Don't let anyone tell you that you are just getting old and you have to accept it. You do not have to accept the decline. You can reverse insulin resistance. You can heal your adrenal glands. You can burn that visceral fat, but you have to change the input to change the output. Your metabolism hasn't shut down, it's just waiting for the right instructions. Give it the right fuel, give it periods of rest through fasting, and lower the stress, and you will see that engine roar back to life. If you found this video helpful and want to dive deeper into exactly what to eat to reverse insulin resistance, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I have a whole series coming up on specific meal plans for menopause. Until next time, listen to your body and reclaim your health.